Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater, and tonight we'll be talking all about culls. What exactly is a cull? How do we cull? It's a noun, it's an adjective. What exactly is it? So it's an adverb. Oh man, so many of the different things. So we got a little bit of a hiccup starting out. Shelby's gonna grab her charger so that way we don't miss any of the giveaways or anything like that. And then we also forgot our notes. Well, I forgot the notes. So Shelby ran away to grab both of those things for us. How you doing, Shelby?
Hello, everybody.
All right. So let's dive into it. Let's start off with what is a cull? So basically, a cull is any undesirable shrimp, whether it be the wrong color, the wrong pattern, the lack of color, or a couple of deformities that we're going to go over and talk about tonight as well. And then what does it mean when you cull or to cull, or when I said I've culled something or you got to go cull this out? Well, basically, I'm talking about going through and removing the.
Eric!
Don't
Coming
remove the
in.
Eric.
Eric coming in with the $5 super chat. Sorry, this week I don't have our little videos. I didn't fix them, and it seems to be a general consensus. Goodness gracious, that the music is not pleasant. So I will be changing that, and then it should be ready for next week. So thank you.
And we won't call Eric. Don't worry. But appreciate it, man. Nice to see you in here so early. Usually over at the Steam Fonts.
I think something's wrong with that. Oh. I think that hasn't been going on.
All right, well. It's a little difficult to pay attention to somebody else's stream when it's right before ours because we get the kids to bed, we wrap up a few things around the house, get the live stream ready to go, and then we dive on in it. And, well, tonight I didn't even have my notes ready like 20 minutes ago, so I'm probably missing a couple things. I might remember something added on down, but you'll get the full hour of jam-packed information, and, of course, I'll be here to answer all of your questions as well. But when I talk about culling, I'm basically talking about the removal of any of the culls. So what? It's a little low. I should be doing more water changes than I am right now.
It's loud.
I'm not currently on par, as you would say, with the routine. We have been quite busy with other little things around the house. Today we drove to Orlando and picked up a bunch of bins. 75 of them fit in our little SUV. Don't know how, but we managed to make it. And poor little Shelby had one of the. This was on her too, by the way, because she had to have a perfect number of 75. We couldn't do 73. There was room for 73 as long as I kept my elbow up here and slammed on the brakes. Nothing would fly forward at us, but it had to be done because of her. And,
I mean, who stops at 73? 75 seems like a good solid number, so it felt only right to put a 2 more in.
Just part of the many reasons why you're a keeper.
Benjamin Peters says, what do you call a reverse rili pattern like the one in the thumbnail?
So there are. I don't think the one in the thumbnail is like completely reversed.
No, that's the cull I was talking. That's the cull I think the one to.
Is a headless horseman, and I'll dive into those. So let's do that now. So rilis, they're like going to throw more culls than any other shrimp out there. Main reason why is because there are so many different patterns that could possibly potentially happen with the rili morph gene. And it's not a stable gene at all whatsoever. So basically, if you've got a red rili, you've got the potential of a red head and a red tail and then a clear body, but you also have potential for a blue body. So right there's 3 different colors that you could be worried about or having to deal with. And just right there, you could have possibility for 3 solid colors. So you could get full red, you could get full blue, you could also get full clear, no color at all. What's kind of like a snowball, but not really. The eggs aren't going to be white like a snowball. Then also you can have different shades of blue. So you can have light blue like blue velvet, or you have dark blue like blue dream. There's really a lot more possibilities out there than just this, but potentially you can have different color full blue shrimp as well, different grades of red cherries, and then you're going to get some with a red head, blue body or clear body, and then reverse, where you're going to have a clear head and then a red body, and then you're going to have all these little splotches and patterns and stripes and everything in between, basically. So Rillies themselves are going to throw way more culls. What do you call a reverse Rilly? Well, you could just call it a Rilly and breed out more of them, but until you have like a full colony of reverse Rillies, you don't really have anything other than a cull. So I would honestly call them like reverse Rillies. But I don't think it's really been done before. I do have several of the Yellow King Kongs that do have that reverse Rilly pattern, but it's like I don't think I've ever had more than 2 or 3 at the same time. And when you're dealing with Caridina Yellow King Kong Rillies, they can gain. Are you counting how many times I'm saying really?
No, I'm laughing because Koro said it. Well, a couple of people asked if I was going to cull you. Someone was like, I was culled at birth. And then Koro said, is this video sponsored by Red Bull or Monster Energy? Grant is pumped tonight.
Oh, man. just a lot of talk about. It's a big day. When you bring home 75 bins that could potentially be used for so many different things and make an arrangement to have another 100 of them come by, and then I know I'll make an excuse to go back and grab the rest of them. And our whole backyard is already looking all right with just what we got going on. So I can't imagine another like 150 of these things in our backyard. And imagine like maybe 2 varieties of plant. No, I mean 2 bins for each variety of plant. That the potential there to grow out some plants and other stuff. I'm just excited for that. But back to the Rilly thing. I've never really had 2 or 3 reverse Rillies, more than that, to really throw into a tank together. And then the problem with Yellow King Kong Rillies is that as they age, as they mature, you can gain pigment as well, and then you can end up with a solid yellow shrimp. So most of the time that has happened with my reverse Rillies. So I definitely answered the question. I covered all grounds.
All right.
Oh, wait. So if you have a Missouri pattern where it is clear head, yellow body, that is what I call our headless horseman. And if you have the reverse where it's the yellow head, clear body, that's what we call our lemon heads. So until we get copyright infringement.
And Ruben asked if you were selling those orange eye blue steel.
No, sadly, that's like all that I have. And like, honestly, I could view them as all culls if I wanted to stay on topic, because I originally bought them from Ray Haas. But like between you and me and all these other people watching, Ruben, Ray Haas really just lost all of his shrimp breeding skills when he shaved off the mustache, didn't he? Like it's all gone. All of his lines, they're gone with the mustache.
No one respects you without your beard.
He got married, lost the mustache, got houseplants, lost the shrimp. But I still got his Hummel, and those are probably the best thing to come out of Ray. But everybody knows him for the orange eye shrimp. But yeah, not for sale yet. Sorry, Ruben. Answers your question.
Trip said this is a really good topic. Good one. That's a good one.
A little punny today, huh? All right, so diving in, we kind of skipped over the red cherries and went right into Rillies, but it was a topic on the list, high up on the list. I should talk about Neos in general when we're talking about culling, but
Tube Dog asks, do you make more from your cull sales or purebred?
Oh, definitely purebred, but we definitely don't have an issue selling the culls. So we sell culls for like half the price, and we throw in a lot of extras. So like say you're watching this stream right now and you wanted to buy 10 of our culls off of our website and you use code for your membership. If you are a member, you get a 10% off code to our website. I see that code used for culls. You're getting like 4 or 5 extras at least thrown into your order. So we definitely hand out culls like candy more often than the purebred, but there's a good amount of money to be made off of culls. I think we make more money off of our pures because once you work on the lines, you get less culls. So we do sell a lot of culls, but we sell a lot more purebreds. If that makes any sense. Shelby's not listening, so I can't get feedback from her on whether it made sense, but it should make sense. The rilies, we make more money off of the culls for sure than the purebreds, but the rest of the shrimp, we make way more money off the purebreds.
Little off topic, but I want you to answer this real quick so I don't lose this comment. It says Abstract Aquarius asked, hey, can you give me some info on Aurora blue tigers?
So it's on the list, so I'll cover it now just for you. No problem at all. Aurora blue tiger are a Serrata gene tiger, basically a wild type tiger, and it has a couple good functions with crossbreeding. It can give you the back line, it can give you the blue steels with the speckles on the face, but when talking purebred Aurora blue tigers, they're just not the fastest breeder. They're not comparable to tangerine tigers, and the fact that tangerine tigers will outbreed almost everything besides Neocaridina out in the sun. So the Aurora blues, they're a little more sensitive, not as hardy as the tangerine. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me other than maybe Auroras just didn't have a good trip over here in acclimation and haven't hit the right parameters, or maybe their waters are a little bit different from where they've been selective bred. But the tangerine tigers are just ferocious. They're tanks compared to the Aurora blues. Same exact shrimp, good for crossbreeding and everything like that. The Auroras can be bred in both Neocaridina and Caridina parameters, but it's just so slow compared to everything else. Also, they do gain a lot of color as they mature. So the ones that will look like the abstract Aquarius is backlit on the screen, those ones are probably ancient old. We had some of those. They looked really great. And then Layla took them out with a quesadilla back in 2016 or something like that. It was epic. But we've got a couple different lines going. Some of them can have a little bit of green hue to them and whatnot. But I do think they look a little bit better on the black substrate. And part of the reason why they're on the list and why I mentioned it is don't cull too soon on the Aurora blue tigers because they do gain a lot of color as they mature. So,
Stardust on the list?
Stardust is not on the list. I'll talk about that then.
Okay. And Jeff Kane said, remember that, Grant. You can't shave anymore or it could happen to you as well.
What could happen to me, though? I get called. Oh.
No. Like you said, Ray shaved his mustache. He wasn't doing as well. So it could happen to you. No. You started slacking on water changes after he shaved his beard.
I was slacking on water changes before I shaved. It has been I got caught up at one point, and then it's just so much stuff to do around the house until the 500 tanks are in place. Water change schedule is not going to be effective or efficient. So, all right, back to me?
Yes.
All right, so Neocaridina culls. In general, culls, you're going to be a little male heavy. Just because you want a good male to female ratio where you've got maybe one male to every 8 females would be like optimal probably. Maybe like having a backup male in a tank of 10. But if it was like a tank of 40 shrimp, I'd only want like 4 males in the tank altogether, maybe 5. So you don't really need too many males. And because of that, you cull really heavily and you're really strict on your males. Then with Neocaridina, just so happens that the males aren't as pretty for the most part as the females. So on average, some of them, and let's start with red cherries because this is the perfect example, is there is almost 0 painted fire red cherry males. All right. Females, they're abundant. Almost 80% of fire red juveniles will turn painted as they age and mature. However, out of like 100 males, you're lucky if 10 of those end up fire grade. Even on the better lines, males just tend to be red cherry, sakura at best, and not really high in quality. So that's why when you purchase painteds or fire reds and you only buy 10 of them, there's a chance where you might not get a male in the mix. I know this, and because of that, I usually send one for sure male sakura. It's not a fire grade quality or anything like that because there's so few and far between, but you at least get that one male in case you didn't get one out of the other 10. You can breed them out, and the genes are all still there for the most part. The sakura fire red crossed with a painted fire red cherry is going to give you the same ratio as a fire red male will, just slightly less, of course. Then, you can cut me off. I need a drink.
All right. I have chickens in my backyard aquatics. Love it. $1.99 super chat said, what culls do red spot pintos throw?
Wow. So there's a lot of culls that red spot pintos can throw, and that all depends on what you think is a cull. So if you are breeding for pure red spot pinto colony, good luck. It's going to be a lot of work, but you're going to be doing some culling. So basically, you're going to cull anything and everything that is not a red spot pinto. So you're going to get red steels, you're going to get zebra pintos, you're going to get German belly pintos, and you're going to get some tie B that are like wannabe pintos but don't have the perfect pattern. It's just not quite there. And let's say that that's perfect German pinto lines. If it's not perfect and you do have some of the other ones, you can get Galaxy and Nanashi and other things like that come out of your red spot pintos as well. So lots of culls, but then again, if you just like German pintos in general, you could keep the red spots, the German bellies, and the zebra pintos all together, and then just cull the tie Bs and the red steels. So there's a lot of like cool and interesting things that can come out of the red pintos, and of course, if the line hasn't been bred to be true on the color, you could get some blacks as well.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Back to the fire reds and Neocaridina in general. So, like the best example is that the painted fire reds, almost like 99% of them are going to be female, and then you get very low percentage of the fire reds will be males. And then, once you get into the sakura and lower grades, you tend to go the opposite way. So you'd be like 80% for a sakura grade cherries are going to be probably male. And then if you go real low grade red cherries, 99% of them are probably going to be male. It's just very few and far between where it's vice versa. And even the best lines out there are still going to throw the low grade red cherry male culls. It's just going to happen. But the same is true for yellows, for blues, black rose, most of the lines of shrimp. Green jades are infamous for this. The males are going to be uglier than the females. So when buying culls, just remember you have a high chance of getting mostly males, if not all males. That is the downside to getting cheaper shrimp and the uglier ones. Anything else for me?
No, just Layla's going to hear the quesadilla story for the rest of her life. Passing with said, did you say with a quesadilla? Yes.
Yeah, so fed the kids lunch one day. Couldn't leave the table and go play until they were done eating their quesadilla. And, well, I looked over at one of my tanks while we were eating dinner. So after quesadillas for lunch, and one of the tanks was looking awfully cloudy. And when I got closer, I realized that it was a tortilla. And when I went to go pick it up, it basically disintegrated in my hand. And even doing a 99% water change, I lost all the Aurora blues and black rose in the tank. I'm more salty about the Aurora blues, not the black rose. So
Fisk for the $2 super chat says, "Hi, you two. Is it okay to send a big text question?" Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's just they only have so much text you can text in there, but just put it together.
Yeah, no, our lives are mainly dependent on the feedback and back and forth with the comments with you guys that are watching live. So if you guys got questions, hit me. I'm ready for it. Or if it's a question for Shelby, I need a breather once in a while. So she loves to talk too. You wouldn't know. All right, I think it covered the red cherries. Oh, the backline. So every now and then somebody will ask me, "Hey, what's going on? My red cherry has a backline. What is this bad? Is it sick? What's the deal here?" A lot of times it'll come with maturity. The backline is a dominant trait. It's a phenotype that it'll express usually later on in age, and it's basically opinionated on whether you like it or not. Some people really like it. Those are the people that call them like a racing stripe. The other people that are like, nah, I don't want the back lines. I want the pure, solid colored shrimp and stuff like that. They might be upset buying a colony, and then further down the road, they end up having the back lines anyways. So you can breed and selective breed and cull for it, but again, it's really hard to do because you can have a shrimp for 3 years and then it finally shows the back line. So it's really up to you. I kind of like them. For the majority of it, they are the higher grade shrimp when you want to like boil it down to thickness of shell and color of pigments.
So Toop Dog said, "With the coal sales, should you sell them as Skittles?" And Shelby never listens. That is true. Because
Never
I'm
to
reading.
me, though, but she's usually a really good listener to other people. Usually I'll be like, "What were those people talking about?" And she'll fill me all in. So
usually 3 tables over at a restaurant and I want to leave.
But selling the culls as a Skittles pack is a great idea. There's just people that also want them as like a way to start up a cheaper way to start breeding a pure line. So certain culls like Tybees from the Fancy Red Tigers, you could breed those out and make your own line of Fancy Red Tigers. All the genes are there, and it's just going to be a couple generations of selective breeding to get them back on track and off of the cull radar.
All right, so back to Fisk, and finally got his question typed out. Said, "Love the jellyfish earrings, by the way. Thank you. My stepmom actually made them for me, handcrafted them for me." I do have a question for both of you, though. I purchased emerald culls and black rose from you. They went into identical 10-gallon tanks, secondhand, with 2 inches of gravel and a few plants and moss. Parameters were the same from pH to GH and KH. The black rose have all died. They had what seemed like seizures. I only have one left, and I moved it into another tank, and it seems better. No idea what is wrong. Should I tear down the tank and re-silicone the tank? It was something outside the tank got in it. It's the only time I've ever seen them do seizures, for sure.
So, yeah, my best reference to something that's having a seizure is there's something wrong with the water. You're really throwing me off here.
I'm so sorry. It was
You're
chiller
good.
method, passing wind, or should we call you Sure Shrimp a lot?
All
Sorry.
right. Well, anyways, my best reference to the shrimp having seizures is when we did the whole dog treatment for the dogs, and then I decided to have a sword fight with the kids in the middle of the living room. It kicked up some dog hair that had flea meds on into the tanks, and when I finally got done with my day, kicked back in the chair, started to play some Call of Duty, looked up, my shrimp were having seizures. They were going all over the place, swimming around frantically, and then like having a seizure and then falling down to the bottom of the floor. And if I didn't have Aquachar, I would have lost a lot of shrimp. So perhaps there's something underneath the substrate. Perhaps they used a bunch of root tabs or fertilizer tablets or something like that that had copper in them. So there's a lot of things with buying a secondhand tank. You don't necessarily know what was in it beforehand. They could have had the tank sitting for a while and bug bombed their garage or something like that, and there've been some type of pesticide in the tank, and it's going. Let's admit it, people. Shrimp are just aquatic cockroaches, so any kind of roach spray or anything like that is going to affect the shrimp. Then the other thing is like you like to smell good, you use any kind of perfume or deodorant sprays or just making the house smell good with Febreze or anything like that. Those chemicals are super toxic to shrimp, can get into the tank and definitely cause some issues. So um, you only have one and you got it out of the tank already, so it seems like the problem is already behind you. However, you can pull out the hard minerals or hard metals with some aquachar and some prime. If you haven't already dosed the tank with prime, if you don't have aquachar, you could use activated carbon. Just mind you, you're going to have to take it out after a month and replace it and redose it. So there's quite a few things that it could be. I would say wait till the dollar per gallon sale, or I don't know if it's on currently right now. I haven't bought in tanks in a minute, so we're looking forward to that here soon. Just got to build a couple more racks, and then we'll be in the new tank market. But a $10, even an $18, $20 tank, and just putting in some cheap $5 gravel from Rural King or Tractor Supply. Has a black diamond blasting sand for really cheap. You can easily clean your filter with some hydrogen peroxide and just running it through a bunch of water and maybe reuse that. But again, like these sponge filters are only $2, and setting up a whole brand new tank could only cost upwards to like $40. So it might be worth
not losing the $40 worth of shrimp again.
Yeah, exactly. Just redoing it, and you can sell that tank to somebody else for a leopard gecko or something like that after they've thoroughly cleaned it with vinegar or something like that to get out anything toxic.
General advice to everyone that's in stream for things like this: the number one thing for shrimp ever acting lethargic and like bouncing around and then falling on their sides and like twitching, most of the time it is a outside source, and usually you want to go step by step to figure out what could have been on your hands or the net that you potentially put in there. Say you have a spouse or a mom or someone that lives with you that sprays Febreze, things like that. It could just be right there, put in the tank, and everything's gone. We have worked with several people that try to figure out what happened to their tanks. A lot of people had things like perfume on their wrists and touched their tank and didn't remember, killed all their shrimp. Usually it doesn't happen, but yeah, outside contaminants, you just want to always make sure that you rinse everything, like your nets, your hands, if you're going to go into your tank at all, or make sure you have a good lid. Like we use the polycarbonate lids. It covers the whole top. So like outside things aren't really getting in there, and always have aquachar on deck to make sure that you are prepared for those situations, because you'll save a lot of those shrimp. I mean, even painting your house can happen in air-driven pumps. You're pushing in that fumes from paint. So we throw in aquachar and make sure that it's covered and protected as well. So,
and I even had a friend, Eddie, come walking through the house, swinging his keys around his finger, and the keys went into a Galaxy Pinto tank, and caused a bacterial infection. So it's just one of those things you got to be careful from the keys to all different little kind of things that could possibly wind up affecting your tank that you didn't think about. So.
Your friendly neighborhood window licker is in here with a $1.99 super chat. Loving the names tonight. Said, should I put orange-eyed blue tigers or sexy shrimp in a 3.8 gallon tank?
All right, so if you have to pick between one of the two options, I would say orange-eyed blue tigers. We did sexy shrimp in a little 5-gallon tank. Saltwater in that small of a tank. Unless you already have a much larger saltwater tank that you can do full 100% water changes from a nice controlled system, then yeah, go for the salty shrimp. But if you don't have access to that, orange eye blue tigers. But like, don't do it. Get them a bigger tank. Maybe put some Opa Ula or something a little bit smaller. Opa Ula are like significantly smaller than Caridina shrimp. Caridina shrimp are like significantly smaller than the sexy shrimp or the camel shrimp or the other like fun saltwater shrimps. But like, you can do bigger if you can do it. If not, maybe go smaller. Rethink your options. A nice little macro algae Opa Ula tank.
Nice. That'd be pretty. So Vibes came in with a member for 3 months and used his chat to say, I made it. Big hug, Shelby, Grant. Y'all are such a cute couple. Love y'all. Love you too, Vibes. Thanks for coming in. And then he did a $4.99. Didn't even get to the comment yet. $4.99 super chat says, I guess I have to super chat to get a hold of Shelby and Grant. Shelby messaged y'all. Yes, I saw it. I see the reminder. You're going to have to remind me again before this Saturday. I will be on Vibes channel and Grant will too. That is 9 p.m. Central Time. I might be wrong.
I'm just so excited to be at Aquascaping next month. Vibes, you're going to be there, right?
9:05
Vibes
Central
will be there.
Time. Thank you so much, Vibes.
Vibes is going to Aquascaping.
And then we have another one. I hope so. And then on the midnight train to my slump, these are only getting better. $1.99 super chat says 5-year-old daughter spat in my tank. Should I be worried if she was
on a
eating
keto
something?
She's on keto diet. Full send. It's fine. It's just a little bit of beneficial bacteria. But
Oh goodness gracious!
if she's eating a lot of Cheetos, Cheez-Its, or other hard preservative foods, no, she should be fine.
Yeah.
We have our dogs that refuse to drink out of water bowls. We've gone and gotten fancy water dishes and
fancy
put ice in their bowls to keep them water and chilled and bougie little dogs they are. They still go to our ponds and drink out of our ponds. And there's maybe it just got that scud shrimp water flavor to it, and they like it a little bit extra.
It's
but
nice shrimp flavored
water. He definitely
fancy
dives
water.
into the ponds as soon as I feed him flake food. Like he's like, oh, you seasoned it for me, mate. Thank you.
It should be fine as long as she didn't have like a weird juice drink
As
or
long as
something.
she doesn't
spit in there.
eat dog dewormer for breakfast, she's fine.
I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head all night though.
Eating dog dewormer?
No, midnight train to Georgia. Fisk gave us a $2 super chat. Says really appreciate the advice. Thank you. Feel bad for them. Yes, it is actually terrible when you make a mistake, especially if fish, shrimp, anything. But we all make the mistakes, so don't feel too bad. It happens.
Also, half of the blame should be on the person that gave you the tank because they probably knew something was wrong and they didn't tell you anything. So I wouldn't feel that bad about it. It does happen. Again, there could have been something else in the air that got into the tank that affected them. So back to you. Back to me.
Because I gotta go.
Oh man. All right. So
search where it was.
There is a picture circulating on the internet that I have to do my public dues and make a public service announcement. Purple Neocaridina are not a new thing here, people. I entered purple rili Neocaridina in the very first Dallas Aquascaping shrimp competition. They weren't very big. They didn't get a lot of attention, but they were there. I got a ribbon. The proof is in the pudding. I posted pictures of them online. They're not super purple. They're not, you know what I mean, Caridina, purple metallic with the orange eyes, the really cool ones out in Germany, purple. But they're more purple than they are maroon or red. So the other thing is there's occasional, like just random purples that will show up in mixed tanks and stuff like that. I would be impressed when I see an entire colony, though, because those that are just, you know, circulating into the shrimp hobby and stuff like that, they've never seen it. But from Shrimp Spot on the forums to today current, it's about like 3 times a year somebody gets super excited and think that they've discovered a brand new shrimp or something like that. But I'm here to tell you, There's a couple things that probably are just wrong with the shrimp in the first place that made it purple. So, first off, when did you turn on the lights? If you walked up to the tank and turned on the lights to Bloody Marys or a mixed Neocaridina shrimp or anything like that, chances are some of them are going to be a little bit stressed out. And it's going to take them some time to warm up. And, that means their color and pigments and stuff like that. At nighttime, they have a little bit of camouflage reflex. They're trying to blend in. So to blend into darkness, they just lose all of their color. And then when it turning the lights on, they're trying to blend into whatever they can. And if it's black, then they're going to turn as dark as they possibly can. Doesn't make a lot of sense. You'd think they want to lose the color, but in their eyes, they think they're matching it pretty darn well. So they gain a lot of color in the first hour or two. So turn on the lights, leave them on for an hour or two before you take any pictures, and you're going to get a lot more pictures of nice, higher quality shrimp. So what did you show me? Well, how's it going, Dan, the Turtle Man? Hope you're doing well.
Right. Robert wants some of the tangerine tigers. You'll have to remind us before the next club meeting and remind us the day before, or else we're not remembering it. Both of us have awful memory. He has an excuse. I don't have an excuse. So honestly, it's bad. Excuse. There's someone else I was
She's
like,
taking care of me enough to be worried about your tangerine tigers, Ray. Okay, that's what it is.
Oh man.
But
hold on, I'm interrupting you one more time too. Laura is way behind on stream, but just got no planaria and need to figure out dose and schedule for hydra. Do you have the how to dose it on the video?
All right, so I would go and watch our how to treat for no planaria video on our YouTube. I would have a hydra video, but it's hard to do a hydra video when you don't have hydra to film. And then I got film of somebody's house with the hydra in it, and my phone died, cracked, lost all the footage, and haven't been able to get hydra back. I had like 3 pieces of hydra in the tank, and I don't know where they went. Like, they just died naturally. Like, there wasn't enough goodness in the tank for the hydra to live. I don't know. That was a horrible way of saying that. But, yeah, there wasn't enough something in the water, which is interesting because hydra really thrive when there's a lot of little baby shrimp in the tank, and there's tons. So I have no idea why they died.
I know you explained it, but did you explain on how to dose it?
I don't know the exact amount to dose. It should be on the back. It's like a spoon. I think in the video, I do the conversion from liters to gallons for you, maybe. If I didn't, you can message me. I'll do that for you. No problem. But we have basically step-by-step instructions for you to get the most out of your no planaria. And for hydra, you should be able to kill it with half a dose. But I mean, I would just do the full dose, knock it out, do the 90% water change the next day, and not have to worry about it. Just, Shelby, when do you dose?
At night.
And that way, the product isn't going to be dissolving in the light and will work to its full potential. The product doesn't say that on the bag. However, the product kind of wants you to buy more product, let's be honest. But it does work. So if you just follow my directions, the product will work and you won't have to use that much.
All right. This person asked a couple of times, finally got back to it. I don't know how to say that.
With 500, I'm sorry.
Yeah, with 500. I know how to read that. Goodness. I just don't know how to pronounce that name correctly, and I don't want to butcher it. It says, with 500 tanks, how do you do your water changes?
So, you do
We're not there yet.
Not on schedule, but the plan is basically we have several different rack systems set up through the house, and the goal is to get to each one at least every other week. And so it involves me right now doing 36 tanks every single day, 12 days a week. When we add on more tanks and stuff like that, I'll have to do more. We do the ponds and stuff like that on off days when we can, but I'm kind of being a little selective on our water changes right now. Like, I'm not behind on some of the tanks, like the fish tanks and stuff like that. They've been getting a decent amount of water changes because we feed those a lot. Where the shrimp tanks that got a lot of moss and stuff like that, I don't overfeed them. They don't desperately need a high amount of water changes, so they're honestly good if I get to them every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks even. I just do large, massive 40 to 50% water changes when we do take care of it. So it really kind of keeps everything on track. And we have a 200 gallon per day RO unit. We mix all of the water the night beforehand. And we've got a large hose that goes from any tank in our house out to the pool. And it kind of keeps all the pool water nice and fresh for the turtles and koi fish that are in there. We got a lot of baby koi too. Outside.
We do have a video
baby rice
as
fish
well.
Too, Gary. Yeah. Got baby rice fish already.
We do have a video on how we do our water changes, like the kind of system where we drain and refill. So that kind of gives you a little bit more. But yes, it does take some time, and he is home full time for that. So
and me and Shelby were doing a little talking today on what our next video should be. And I think we're going to go through and we're going to update rack by rack throughout the house and go through and show you guys kind of what's happened since like the last year and a half to 2 years since we posted any content on the actual racks. So it's getting there. We're getting there. We'll start knocking it out.
And Brandon had a good question here. It says, are there any interbreeding diseases that can occur from culling without back crossing?
All right. So I haven't seen any two-headed shrimp yet. So until I do, I'm going to say no. All right.
I'm so happy if we made one.
There is certain people out there who claim adding fresh blood increases the amount of babies and stuff like that they get in the breeding and whatnot. I have lines that I haven't added shrimp from just 2 shrimp breeding, where there is probably 12 tanks in the house from one original Tangerine Tiger and Shadow Panda crops. I have probably 10 tanks of those. Now, some of the tanks might have gotten a Missouri back crossed into it or something like that, but other tanks are 10 to 12 generations deep, never adding any new blood, and I challenge you to find somebody else's shrimp that outbreed those tanks. So, new blood is not needed, and certainly adding new blood can definitely cause some issues, because if your shrimp have, some type of immunity built up to a disease, but not to another one that another colony is, a carrier of, but they can deal with that disease like no problem, like smallpox, and then all of a sudden your indigenous colony just got wiped out because the smallpox was added in, and it's just not good. So we don't worry about interbreeding, and it's said that if you start with like 50 shrimp, you'll never or 50 of anything, you'll never have to worry about interbreeding. So 20 shrimp, you're good,
Nancy B asked, are y'all going to have some non-cull emerald greens available anytime soon?
All right. So this is what's happened. It happened last week. And because it happened last week, I got 3 people on the emerald wait list. But we shipped out 2 this week. So we are moving through the line and list a little bit quicker than I wanted to. However, we had a pre-order today for 20. So we kind of set it back just a little bit. But
greens are very hard.
They're hard to breed.
I
have them on the list. We're going to get to it a little bit more. But if you would like to make sure that you're in the line, you can put a down payment for your green emeralds, and we will ship them out when they are ready. So, and it's a full down payment. It's not like partial or anything like that. But if you buy over $100, you get free shipping. So, a little incentive. All right. Might as well talk about the green emeralds. We'll skip over the snowballs. Green emeralds first. So, the greens in general, green, Neocaridina, and green Caridina, but those are a myth, a legend, right? So we're going to talk about the green Caridina and green Neocaridina. And the two in general are green Jades and green Emeralds. I have a video that covers the two of them. But what I don't have is really going into culling and stuff like that. So with the green Jades, it's super hard to go through and cull those because they're like so many different shades of green, and they are a little finicky where they will kind of change color. And then on top of that, they can also gain full color as they mature and turn painted. But the thing that you need to know about them, and this is with the emeralds as well, you don't want to cull the blue ones right away. A lot of times with the green Jades especially, the blue ones turn out to be the nicest painted dark green color out there. Just for whatever reason, they start off blue, and this is very similar and true with like the Caridina, the green Hulks, where they'll go from blue to green to black. And there are a lot of green emeralds that will turn black. But with the green Jades, they don't turn black. So do not cull the blue ones. Keep them. I've only had like 2 of the green Jade blues that I get now actually stay blue. In the beginning, I was having like blue velvet color blues coming out. Cull those. I don't think those are going to do anything. But if you get like a blue dream or a blue diamond looking spawn out of your green Jades, keep it. It's probably going to be painted. Thank me later. Thanks.
Jake did ask, what's the best nano fish to put with shrimp? There is not many, but
the best.
A couple. Yeah.
The best would be the auto sinkless catfish. They still eat shrimp, no matter what you say. They will. Someone was telling me like they eat bloodworms or something else like that, or live blackworms. So yeah, they'll eat shrimp too. They have the ability for sure. They just got super tiny mouths, and for the most part, the mouths are holding on to something for dear life. So not really a big potential to eat a lot of shrimp. However, whatever can fit in a fish's mouth will be food. And for that reason, the smaller the mouth, the better when talking about shrimp. CPDs are like my favorite. They're super tiny and small, have a lot of color, nice little, mid-range column swimmer and stuff like that. They do get a little personal with you as well, like when around feeding and stuff like that. So I like them. The Golden Mountain Cloud minnows are another one we work with. The Scarlet Baddis is a one on our bucket list that I would love to get. Rice fish are cool, but yes, the best. I gave you the best. Sorry.
I like my rummy nose rasboras. They're doing pretty good with my shrimp. We have those specifically in a tank with shrimp.
I think they eat more babies though than other.
It is a smaller tank for them. They are competing. So if you have more room for shrimp, fish and shrimp, it would be okay. Like a taller tank would do better for a combination between fish and shrimp. And pausing real quick, thank you so much, Jeff Kane, for gifting 10 memberships. And we got a lot of people here. So welcome to the team. Here is your video when I pull that up.
It's not too bad, but there's that ding where it sounds like a teacup. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let us know if that one's all right, but we're probably gonna change it up to something. Myrtle has some violins playing. That's nice. Maybe something like that.
It was beautiful. I really like the violins. There's something about a violin. It's just so peaceful. Honestly, it's just so relaxing. But thank you so much, Jeff Kane. Appreciate you.
Much appreciated.
He shows the fish fam so much love and appreciation. Love it.
All right. So talked about greens. Let's talk about snowballs. Snowballs might be the only Neocaridina that doesn't need to have any culling or anything like that whatsoever. There are a couple times when I've been like, oh no, this is not supposed to be in here. What is going on? And changed the colors of my snowballs just slightly. So we made them a little bit orangish, reddish in color by feeding the tetracolor tropical granules just a wee bit too much. And they, quickly after a few different diet cycles, went back to their normal color. It wasn't a permanent thing or anything like that. I've also seen them a tad blue or greenish, feeding them spirulina algae and stuff like that. So definitely feeding can change the color of your shrimp. You want to think about that when culling. You don't want to go through and try and color your red cherries just after you fed a bunch of the right color shrimp king food or anything like that. So the other thing is like I mentioned, with the greens changing color and having a little bit of camouflage reflex to them and whatnot. When it comes to substrate choice, black is going to be the best for just about everything for color. Of course, if you want to see and view your shrimp, blue and black is a little bit hard, but I've had black rows that looked as good as they possibly can on black substrate, threw them out on white substrate or bare bottom, and they look like a wild type Neocaridina. So you definitely want to try and match their environment as dark as possible. The blue dreams, blue diamonds, they can pretty much hold their color no problem on a whiter substrate, but they will look a little bit darker, more royal blue on a blacker substrate for sure. Just way easier to see on white, right?
So we got a question. Sibley Warrior said, recently I noticed my red wine tank had a 2-stripe, all red female ready to breed. She couldn't get away and now she's gone. Is a cull male even just for the male? Oh, is a cull tank even just for the male?
I have no idea what the question is. I'm sorry. Recently I noticed
is a cull tank worth taking just the male out?
I mean, maybe just have a Caridina tank that's just a designated cull tank for males, and then just pay attention. As long as you didn't add anything that looked very similar to the red wine, you could always go back and cull that male and put him back into the main tank.
Yeah, and it usually, if it's aggressive, that's pretty rare. I would cull it out too. We did have an aggressive shrimp that we had to put in a tank all by itself.
Yeah, that's the one reason why we actually have the little tiniest shrimp king tank. It's like a 3-liter or 3-gallon tank or something like that. Super tiny, but yeah, we had to put the Punisher in there. Kept killing everybody. Back to me?
Yeah, sorry.
All right. So, Caridina time. Just like Neo's, again, Caridina culls can be a little bit heavy on the male side.
Speaking of Caridina, someone did ask about fish into Caridina tanks. We weren't specifically saying Caridina tanks. I don't think we would ever chance putting fish in with our Caridinas. That's a little expensive.
I don't have CPDs or mountain cloud minnows with them. No, I wouldn't do that.
We do have mountain cloud minnows.
But they're in the cull tanks. They're in the cull tanks.
That's a cull tank. Yeah. So it's not as bad, but it's something you just don't want to chance because fish also do take food sources away from shrimp. Like if I was to feed a shrimp pellets, like my rasboras sit there and pick off the food. So they do take food from the shrimp. So you got to take that into toll, even if they're not eating them. But they would accidentally eat, not visually try to, but they're definitely going to suck up babies on the food pile too, like little itty bitty babies. It's just not something they're trying to do, but it's going to happen. Shrimp are protein, fish like protein. It's going to happen. So I wouldn't chance it in Caridina tanks.
And also, if you're worried about breeding, just think you might get 8 to 10 cycles of breeding out of a female every year out of a shrimp. Throw any fish in the tank, and you're gonna get probably 2 or 3, if not more, less cycles. So.
And Frank asked ratio of aquachar to 10 gallon. I don't think I've ever. I mean, just
I
like
think 1 cup does 50
50
gallons. So like I usually use like a quarter of a cup for a 10-gallon tank. A little overkill isn't gonna hurt. So instead of doing a fifth of a cup, I just find the 1/4.
Just don't put too much because it could fluctuate some parameters, but it'd still be safer than probably what's going on in the tank. So back to you. I have no more questions.
All right.
Oh, you were on Caridina.
Yeah. So that just because you want to have a good female to male ratio, where you have 4 or more females for every male in the tank at least, because of that, you're gonna get more males when you buy Caridina culls as well. With green jades and blue bolts, green tigers and blue bolts, these are the moodiest shrimp that we have. One day the blue bolt can be full blue, the next day it can be half blue, half white. Same with the greens. One day it can be green, the next day it will be orange. I've tried where I culled all the orange ones into a different tank, left all the greens, and then a week later, the orange tank is now the green tank, and vice versa. Obviously, it's not a perfect split, but it's just they're moody. They swap colors out. There's a few other different kinds of shrimp that do this as well. Shadow pandas can do it a little bit, but not nearly as much as the blue bolts do. And then, let's talk about tangerine tigers. I've got a shirt idea that I want to put a tangerine tiger with a pair of blue jeans and say, "There's no culls in these jeans," right? But technically, I could take that line and start culling it tomorrow if I wanted to. I could go and try and cull for deeper, thicker lines. I could go and cull for no lines. I can go and cull for dots. I can go and cull for just say, oh, the whole market has just flopped and bright orange, deep, dark tangerine tiger isn't considered high grade anymore. It's yellow. The yellow tangerine tiger is where it's at. Well, I could go and start selective breeding and getting rid of all the deepest, darkest orange. And by doing that, over time, I will breed out my own yellow tangerine tiger. Not worth the amount of work. I did it for like 5-6 generations, and the orange is just so darn dominant, even with the steels and crossbreeds further on down the generation. Sorry.
So Misa asked, I've heard even tanks previously treated with copper-based meds can cause issues. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's another reason if you've ever dosed for any kind of fish illnesses or anything like that in a tank beforehand and you want to swap it over to a Neocaridina tank, you're best off to go through, add some aquachar into the tank, some type of carbon, get those meds out of the tank and make them inert so that way they won't be an issue later on down the road with the shrimp.
You're good.
All right. We had already kind of mentioned this earlier, setting up a whole tank just for culls and stuff like that. I would like to have a designated cull tank for every single type of shrimp that we have. That way it makes it easy to sell them, to move them around and stuff like that. But if you don't have that kind of luxury, we have so many different types of shrimp, 140, to have 140 cull tanks, it's a little bit ridiculous. So we do a mosh pit of different tanks where we just throw a bunch of different culls all into one tank. I highly recommend it. It's like a poor man's Skittles tank. They're a lot of fun. Again, it's like a sausage fest though, because it is male dominant in there, and the males will probably pick on the females that are in the tank. So
Vibes Aquatics coming in with $1.99. Said, what you think about me buying some of your Neocaridina?
What color? What's your favorite
Yeah.
color?
Yeah.
Or what colors don't you have already, Vibes?
Or are you feeding them to your beautiful frontosas?
You want it.
Thank you
That's
so much,
deep.
Vibes. Welcome in. Don't you start another topic because
I'm not.
it's time.
That was a
And
horrible Bruce Buffer impersonation.
I mean, what do you expect, honestly? Oh man.
It was time. Now it's past time.
I know, I'm so slow.
The music on that is on point, though, Crypt Keeper.
Hey,
you
everyone.
like that music?
Hello.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Nobody complain about Crypt Keeper's music. You're gonna have to deal with me personally. All right. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going. Had a really awesome weekend. I drove down to Pennsylvania for my first fish auction, and that was pretty exciting. I was hoping to get some shrimp, but the prices were just way out of reach.
Oh no.
That can happen at auctions where there isn't a master shrimp keeper there to pass on all the genetics throughout everything.
Yeah.
Come down to Florida. You can get some good deals on some shrimp at our auctions for sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was crazy. Everyone was bidding at or above retail. Never seen anything like that at an auction.
So when we went to Colorado, it was the same thing. When I auctioned off my shrimp at the clubs, I was like, these are on my website for cheaper. If you guys, I saw your hand up before, $55. They're on the website for 40. Have at it, So
Yeah.
I definitely, them northern clubs, they don't got the shrimp farms. So
Interesting. Yeah, so I brought back a bunch of rainbow fish from the auction, so that's super cool. I'm excited for that. Got a couple plants and some other things.
Breed them out. You got until November to send them to me.
The rainbows?
Yeah.
They're in a mixed tank, so you don't want the babies.
I won't tell Gary Lang. Don't worry. Your secret's safe with me.
All right.
So hit me with the question. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I posted the question about 5 minutes ago, but I see Shelby's not there to click on it.
Why would she leave?
I got
you.
All right.
Good.
I left it there for you.
No,
so
I found it.
While I was at Aquascaping this past October, I got a group of dark green Neos, and that's what they were labeled as. They didn't say whether they were Jades or Emeralds. And so I was hoping you guys could help me identify them. A couple of them were like a blue color. I had a brown colored one. There was like a faint backline on one of them. So what would you guess that they would be?
What color substrate do you have them on?
They were on just a blue bucket, a blue Lowe's bucket.
So you didn't have any black substrate or anything like that, huh?
No, it was just a blue Lowe's bucket with a very low light. So
the blue color and the one that turned brown possibly would look a lot better if you threw them on the black substrate. With the green emeralds, I almost think that the green emeralds and the green jades come from different lines. And if you ask Shelby, out of like 1,000 black rose, we'll get like 2 or 3 that come out looking like perfect green emeralds. No backline, anything like that whatsoever. And I almost think that maybe somebody took those and crossbred them with the green jades to make the green emeralds and get them deeper, darker without the backline. But the backline's still there because I obviously have a line of green emeralds that I'm selective breeding the backline for. So it's in there. It's just way less common than the green jades are. So I would say you more than likely have the green emeralds because most of the importers and resellers and stuff like that, they don't know the lines and they've just been sold to them as what they're labeled. And most of the time in translation and stuff like that, from farm to farm, the actual name might get lost. So then they just call them what they call it, how they see it. So it's different than the jade. So they're dark green. and they sell a little bit better and stuff like that. I would say they're emeralds. So if you wanted to work on them, they might look a lot better on the black substrate for you.
Okay. All right. Super cool. Yeah, I put them in the tank behind me on the white sand for now. I was just going to set it up as like a cull tank. I had a couple of green jade culls that I got from Bob Moss nano tanks. So I was just going to see what happened because I only had a couple left from Aquashella. The rest of them all died off.
So I don't think that crossing the green jades and the green emeralds are going to make wilds. I've had quite a few people now comment on the videos and say even the blue diamonds and blue dreams and say that they're not getting wilds. I just think like the blue diamonds and the blue dreams, once you cross them, they basically all become blue diamonds because they'll throw the blacks. You won't really get so much of the red and stuff like that. I just think the black is a dominant trait from the black rose, and it's passed on. That very well could happen with the green emeralds and green jades if green emerald is in fact the black rose gene. So
okay. All right, super cool. So I definitely want to be ordering both of the green shrimp from you guys in the near future. That way I can see them side by side, what the differences are.
So I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
You're driving to Pennsylvania for fish clubs now, huh?
I did once, yeah.
Did once, but not next month. You know when maybe someone
you
might
mean
be
like June 17th?
Yeah. You gonna make it to that one, maybe?
I'm definitely going to try. I do have that weekend off.
Oh, very nice.
I told Scotty not to tell you.
Scotty didn't say anything, so
Okay.
no, I just kind of like I was gonna be really upset if you're an auction is good enough for you to go to Pennsylvania, but not to come see my
Beautiful face.
my shrimp talk. But
No, I'll definitely do my best to get down there. I do have that weekend off.
I need somebody to throw me off and ask some hard questions, like right in the middle of my talk, so that you weren't supposed to ask that. You know what I mean? I need one of those. Throw me off.
Okay, so you want me to use only Latin names in my questioning?
Yes.
All right, got it.
You need to speak fluent Latin by the time my talk comes.
Good.
All right. Well, that makes me happy to hear you're trying to make it out there. So you're gonna have to let me know though if I need to bring anything special for you then.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. Well, thank you as always for your question this week, and we'll
Yep.
see you next week.
See you later,
Thanks,
guys.
Trip.
Have a good night, man.
Have a good night.
All right. So
But Vibe said
Oh.
buying some Neos and giving them away on Saturday night. Vibe. So I were on. We'll discuss that.
That's up to you. That's all up to you, but it's not a bad idea. The Neocaridina giveaways are probably our better giveaways, get the most attention. So it's definitely something I could hook it up and add on some moss for you. Tap into that giveaway with you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Vibes. Sorry, I'm not getting to your comments fast enough. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions, or should I finish this up? I am running out of topics to talk about.
Oh, you got plenty of questions.
Oh,
I'm way
okay.
behind, so because
I'm saying
you
it's just an
talk too
hour
much.
topic, and I almost got done with everything this week in the first hour.
Pretty proud.
So
Nick, we do still sell aquatic isopods. They are off the website right now because we have been selling them like crazy. We're just giving them a little chance to build back up the population. We have some, but it'll probably be up in the next couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
maybe it really depends on how quickly they like repopulate, because at the moment they're a little bit harder to catch than anything else in the house, and they were like, hey, I need 20 isopods. I can go catch 20 off of one wall, no problem. So when we started selling like 50 of them a week, I think they might be breeding like 40 a week. So the numbers have gone down a little bit. We were only keeping them really in a 7.5 gallon tank. And then they're also in a 55 gallon tank in the garage. but I don't know if the heat's gonna get to them. It's really like one of those. It's another experiment, and not only that, but it's like the beginning of Florida spring weather where it could be really cold to really hot in the garage. So they've gone through quite a journey, and they're still kicking in and holding on. So I'm not expecting much out of their breeding efforts, but we'll throw up a couple more tanks inside. And I want to do a pond outside. We have a lot of plans for outside, and a lot of things will be moved around here soon. I can see the end of the tunnel with Jaden's room, and as soon as that thing is done, it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to do a project inside, and as soon as I'm bored, I'm going to go outside and tackle that. But it'll probably be reversed. I'll probably do outside first, inside second, because it's hot in Florida. It's nice in the mornings.
Oh, to kind of clear up everyone's questions about the memberships, and so the only time that I'm actually able to see it, especially on your cell phone, to allow gifts is in the chat. And it happens to be when that person gifts things to people, it'll come up right underneath it and it will say, do you want to allow gifts? So you might be able to scroll back up if it hasn't been too long. And right under where it says Jeff Kane gifted 10 memberships, right underneath it should be a bright red present. And it says, next time you could be the lucky recipient of the Garden of Eden gift membership and allow gifts. Click on that blue allow gifts and it will allow you to win on this channel. And it's different for every single channel. So anyone else in the Fish Fam, if someone does gift, you have to be at like that exact moment and it has that button right under it. So I can still see it on my phone. You should be able to see it on yours as well, hopefully, theoretically. And Fantastic Freaks come in with a $9 super sticker of a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Welcome in.
Hope you're doing all right, Austin. Are you going to be at Aquashella? Man, Aquashella's coming up. It's like 4 weeks away.
It's so close.
Getting
I know.
excited. I think next week we'll talk about the shrimp contest. So if anybody has any questions, would like to figure out how to join, sign up for the American Shrimp Contest in Dallas. It will be next month. So it's quickly approaching, but it's still not too late to sign up. Get your shrimp in there, and you could win $250 grand prize if your shrimp win best of show. So not only that, any award-winning shrimp usually sell a lot better. So it is a good incentive for anybody that is out there looking to breed and sell shrimp, or possibly even get into selling shrimp. If you're breeding, it's a great way to get your name out there. What's up?
When is Pennsylvania?
The 17th. It's the weekend after that.
So we got to drive all the way to North Carolina, then back home, then to Pennsylvania the next weekend.
And the weekend before that, we might go to Sacramento.
No, that's out of the question.
That
Is out of the question.
You say that now.
Scotty said, is Shelby coming to ACLC? I'm just letting everyone know as a blanket, for the 90 people that are here. If Grant is mentioned, Shelby is mentioned. We are one and the same person at this point. And then 90% of the time, or more than 50% of the time, expect our children to come. They might not, and they might get babysat, but most of the time they're with us too. It's just been like recently that they've been not at the shows with us. But yes, I will be there. Says usually have a few killies in our auctions. Also, will you be arriving to PA? When?
I don't know when
if
yet.
Early enough Friday, you can come to the aquarium. Probably be there at least by Friday.
I don't know if it'll be early Friday or if we'll be driving in on Friday. I haven't planned that out.
It's already summertime at that time, so we have ample amount of time. I mean, we'll actually be able to go, but we'll see. Probably we arrive on Friday, but
we could go on Sunday and then drive home after that. I'm fine with that.
That's a good idea. And I would be super happy to have any killies. So that would be great. We're trying to get to that point where I have my killies rack set up. That would be great. But I do have a couple empty tanks for some killies.
We're also trying to go to the Bod Rocks at some point this year. So I don't know. Yeah. You we got to make it over there and see the best fish house in the USA, and then we copy it and make ours better. That's how we do it.
Coro said, Grant, here's a hard question. If the Bernoulli principle means air travels faster over the curved longer distance on the top of an airplane wings, how can planes fly upside down? We said harder questions about shrimp. Not something I had.
I don't think a plane can fly upside down forever.
No, but it can fly upside down. It's only a certain amount of time, but it can. So
I think it's dropping though slightly in
Bernoulli
altitude.
principle, I mean, air travels faster over the curved longer. That's too difficult. Okay, get out of here. Oh, that was too good.
I think at that point it's thrust.
Vibes with the $1.99 super chat says thanks for the live stream. Call you later. Have a good night. Thank you.
Sounds good, Vibes. Thank you for joining us tonight. Lovely as always. Back to me.
Back to you.
All right, guys. We have the final thing that I have to talk about in Cull. And this could be an issue with both Neocaridina and Caridina. But you mainly see one of them more than the other. So first one I start out with is short skirt. This is really referring to like the front of the shrimp. And if you know the anatomy of the shrimp, which I don't, that is going to be like something that you could teach me 100 times, and I'm just not. I don't care enough to like figure those things out or remember them. So basically, if you know where the gill plate is on the front of the shrimp, all of the important organs and everything is like in the head of the shrimp. That's why when the shrimp dies, it turns pink in the head. It's not going to give you a sign on what went wrong or anything like that. It's just the organs getting foul quicker. With the short skirt, basically you can see the gills or just underneath the gill plate or whatever it is. I more like refer to it as like having no chin. Like the shrimp will look like its chin is missing, like its jawbone was just taken out of the equation, and you can kind of like see the little fillets of the gills. It's not really anything that's going to harm the shrimp or anything like that, but it's not a desirable trait, and there is a possibility that it can be genetic. This is one of This is one of those debates in the hobby where some people will say it's due to parameters, where other people will say it's genetic, and then it's just one of those things that nobody can really prove until we do DNA testing inside shrimp. However, if you have, like, say, a short skirt on one side of the shrimp and not the other, chances are something happened when that shrimp was a baby, and it had a trouble issue molting, lost part of its exoskeleton or whatever, and it just has a short skirt now. If it's on both sides, probably was born with it, but there's got to be, birth defects and deformalities and stuff like that that can happen across anything that can breed and reproduce. So short skirt might just be one of those issues, one of those deformities. I don't really ever see it in Neocaridina. I mainly just see it in Caridina. I try not to use those shrimp when I breed out or stuff like that, but every now and then it's the only shrimp with a new trait or something like that. And what I would recommend doing is don't give up on the shrimp. Don't cull it right away, because there are, with proper conditions, good minerals, nice water changes and stuff like that, you can fix a short skirt. And that's why a lot of people think that it's not a genetic thing and that it's care or, just something could have happened with its molt transition and stuff like that. And then the other one is going to be the balloon head. Basically just a massive head, bulging on one side or another, or on the top or anything like that. These are common in both Neocaridina and Caridina. I've only ever seen it once on both types of shrimp, and it could just be one of those rare defects. But I did cull those. I didn't give them any chance to breed and pass it down to the next generation or anything like that. So, and then like definitely something to look at is when buying shrimp, buying imports or something like that. Yeah, the person could just not have seen it or something like that. But generally speaking, the farms and stuff like that, they'll sell off the short skirts to the resellers and whatnot because they won't notice it or they don't even know what it is or that it's something wrong. So I wish I had a picture to show you guys of what a short skirt looks like or something like that. But you can Facebook in one of the USA freshwater shrimp groups, short skirt, and it'll come up with a bunch of posts showing that. Are you going to pull it up?
Yeah, I could probably Google
All
it.
right.
So Tube Dog said hearing Shelby's voice is gift enough. So sweet. Says, where is Aquashella?
So Aquashella will be next month. The exact date is the 20th and 21st of May. It will be in Dallas, Texas, at the Dallas. No, it's not at the Dallas Market Hall anymore, is it?
I believe it's the no, that was the first one.
I can't remember. It's in Dallas, though. That's the important thing. Hotels are at the Hilton by Anatole, something like that. And it's like $189 a night, but you have to jump on that quickly. I think very, very soonly it goes back up to its regular price. Or there's only like a limited amount of rooms left and they're almost sold out. So if you wanted to go to Dallas, Aquashella, you definitely want to check that out. And then in November 4th and 5th, it will be in Daytona here in Florida. So like Crypt Keeper was possibly going to come to Orlando, and we were going to shuttle him from Orlando to our house because it would only have been a 3-hour round trip. Not that big of an issue. But now in Daytona, it's not like a 6 to 7 hour round trip. So a little harder to do any back and forth or restock from the house. But it is Daytona. They have a nice little beach there. I would be okay with getting some surfing in before we jump into a show and whatnot. So, it's green. It's short skirt. Bring it up. Let's do it.
All right. So this is an example on what Grant was talking about, short skirt on a shrimp. So it gives you a little...
It was Ryan Hoagland, so we'll give him a shout out.
There we go.
He won't mind us using his picture. Oh, no, it's Ryan Polish. He's not even in the hobby anymore.
Is he really?
Nah, he's gone.
Let me pull it up to full screen there for you a little bit better. But you can tell right under the shrimp, see that dark line, like right under the little nostrils going across. It should go all the way down, and it doesn't do that. So that would be the short skirt term.
It should have like a curved chin, but instead it's like straight lined up with the nose. I don't know what those parts are called, but yeah, it goes straight. There's no curvature. The shrimp doesn't have a chin. It's missing a chin. It's all neck.
Yeah, so
that's all.
That gives you a little bit better of a visual learning on that one. And Fishy Plumber, if you didn't see no red bucks, it might be because you've already hit that by accident or accepted gifts. So that might be why you can't see it, because I won't see it on other channels anymore that I've accepted it.
I'm sure it's got to be in the settings deep in there somewhere.
Said it will not be at any of the Aquashellas, but I plan to head to Keystone Clash and maybe the Catfish Catalysm in July.
We will try to make both of those, so we'll at least get to see you at some point this year, Austin.
Yeah, Keystone should be like the one.
I was hoping they were going to have another Aquaticon this year. They might, but I asked James, and James totally ghosted me, never even responded back. But I think Kenny has got a lot going on. And
it is the Dallas Market Hall for Aquashella, by the way.
I know they were trying to plan it earlier on in the year, but they were waiting for Aquashella to release their dates. So they might have just got too much on their plate. I know Kenny's been doing a great job. Deal with it. doing a great job upgrading and updating the store. So it's definitely something you want to see from a local pet store. I think that is a little bit more important than running a fish show. Even though, I really want the fish show. Aquaticon was a nice little trip, much like Aquafest. And it was only a 1-day show, and we did probably as good as we did at Aquafest.
Abstract says Shelby has to go with Grant because he will buy everything and more.
No. I'm really cheap. I usually don't buy anything unless I'm like for sure I've got a tank ready for it to go and it's something on my list. But if Shelby's like, I kind of want it too, then I'm like,
we are worse
I
together.
lose all
honestly.
of the little goblins on top of the shoulders that tell me I should do good or bad.
He's like, okay, yeah, good. All right. I support the habit. It's like, he's like, I don't think we should spend money. And I'm like, oh, I really like that. And he's like, all right, it's settled. We're buying it. Like, I don't even have to.
Take the auction. The annual auction at Pasco was last month. I hear Endlers, pure line of Endlers. I'm like, I want these.
Yeah.
I'm not raising my hand yet, though, because I like to sneak in last minute and poach it out from underneath. But I saw Shelby's hand up. And I have a price. She's got a price. But when my price is like $25 and I saw her hand go down at $25, I'm like,
that was so sad.
25 plus 25 is now 50, right? So, yeah, we brought them home. I didn't realize I was betting against Lucas Brett's.
Yeah.
But, hey, man.
I'm weak when it comes to that.
We've got ponds and they need mosquito control, and I don't want to just put swords and mollies everywhere.
They're orchid inlers, pure line orchid inlers, and they are gorgeous. So I'm super excited about those. But yes, and what's funny is like I'm the one who actually I hate spending money, but when it comes to animals, like my pocket has no ends. That's unrealistic. I'm like, all right, we could go home with like 3 chameleons today. No probs. 16 plants in the back. Yeah, okay, I gotta have it. Now I won't.
We do have 3 chameleon
it.
setups like ready to go.
Yeah.
That's me. You know what I mean? Like, let's get them.
We're terrible with animals for sure, and I'm not going to spend the money. I'm going to ask him to spend the money, so then I don't feel like I spent any money, and then he feels good because I reassured him that he can spend the money. It's a vicious cycle here.
And she does this thing where she doesn't like say she wants it, but she's like, "This would be really cool over here, don't you think? Don't you know?" And I'm like,
"Don't you know?
Gotta have it." Like. Now I feel like
I'm that's a good idea.
So
this would fill in this hole in our house. We have a spot available for this. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we got to fill in these spots.
If only I could get you to agree to move this rack over just
a
foot. And then
we are disagreeing
more
with that.
Tanks in the front of the house.
Oinky says, I'm still hoping to get to Aquashella Daytona. We hope to see you there. That would be awesome. I feel so at home in Florida. Like at some of the other shows, I'm like quiet as can be, but in Florida, like I just feel so at home, and I'm like not too cold, so it's great. Everywhere else we've been visiting has been cold, and I don't have clothes for that. It look really strange when we're on the Colorado mountain with shorts on and a tank top, and it's snow out there.
And we're all dying from the altitude sickness. Can't breathe.
Oh man,
we walked like 20 feet away from the car.
We were like on a mountain, and you just like, I mean, this is a real easy, it's a slow incline. It's not like we were climbing up, and we're not used to that. We're from Florida, we live there, so it's very below sea level, and we're walking a little bit, and I'm breathing heavy, and I'm looking at Grant, and I'm thinking I'm going crazy. I'm like, why am I breathing heavy? Like I am active, I am healthy, I can walk this. I could walk for miles. I'm walking not even like 100 feet, and I'm like, I didn't realize ignorance, Tube Dog says, have you ever seen the Blue Angels? Yes, I have.
The blue
it's
Pinoy
very
or whatever they're called.
Yeah, there's blue pearl angels too that are really pretty. I've seen them in the club. We don't do angels because they mass produce babies. And I do have pure black angels that we will be breeding
Those
because
are going to
they've
find their way
already-
out to the garage here soon. Very soon.
But
I
yes,
keep
they've
saying it,
already
but
tried.
I don't have a slate or another cone for them to go on.
They also have a lot of babies, so you have to have a lot of room for that, and then it's a lot of work for those.
No, I want a slate. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find a piece of slate. I got some old slate probably from the
This
Bearded
is-
Dragon.
This one's a weird one. Abstract Aquarius says, "What's your favorite cereal?"
It like rotates.
Killers. Serial killers. That's good. Sorry, no.
What's yours?
I don't really care for cereal. I think that's because I don't like milk. But in my heyday of eating cereal, I would say Cinnamon Toast Crunch was like my number one go-to. Like, I don't know why. I wouldn't eat it nowadays at all, but that was definitely my go-to.
Either like Pops or the shredded mini wheat, the frosted mini wheats, or Wheat Bix with that shitload of sugar in it.
Can you not curse? We almost
I
made
made
it
an
through
hour
this.
and a half. We're good. Okay.
Dr. Anthony says, not many shows for me. All money goes into our money pit. Oh, no. That sucks.
Well, you get to go to Peru though.
He's probably
It's
sick of
better.
that at this point.
It's better than Seidel, Louisiana. I'm not hating
Hey,
on Seidel,
I liked
Louisiana,
it. I
but
enjoyed it. But
they
who
had a
builds
French
over
Quarter.
their over their reserves?
That
and
was
parks?
upsetting. All
We're
right,
like trying to go find somewhere nice in
let's
front
set
of
the
water.
scene real quick. All right.
That's too much.
Shelby
You
wants to
talk
go
too much.
collecting on the bayou. All right. Find some donuts. We try to find a little spot on the bayou. It's all like industrial complexes and stuff like that. Nowhere real nice to collect. So we GPS. We find a wildlife refuge. We're like 2 minutes away from the expo. Done deal. Let's go collecting there. We start driving. Nice neighborhood. Brand new. And lots of houses for sale. What's going on here, people? We get to the GPS location. They built on top of the wildlife refuge. So, brand new subdevelopment. I mean, we could have bought in a house right in the wildlife refuge if we wanted, but no, it was sad. However, we did stop, looked at the lake, and I found some ginormous rabbit snails. Not rabbit snails, apple snail
snails.
shells, and decided that they were going to be perfect for the Shelly tanks. And we were going to make it worth them building over this. All right. And my hand stunk. I knew it before I even got to the car. I was taking precaution. I'm like, Shelby, get me a bag, roll down the windows. Oh, roll down my window so I can shut my door from the outside. You have to drive now. And you need to roll down the windows more. And she's like, my hair's I'm gonna be a Pomeranian by the time I get to the expo. We're only 2 minutes away from the expo. We could have crawled to the expo if we had to, but we left the windows down, got there. I was smart. I didn't leave the snails in the car. I put them underneath the car, but we didn't wind up the windows all the way, and it stormed like crazy, so the car got a little bit wet. It wasn't worth it. We left the snail shells. I couldn't find a container to contain the smell, and all day my hands smelled like the bayou. It was horrible. There wasn't enough hand sanitizer in that place to get rid of that smell in my hands.
I can't even begin to describe how bad it was, and I am very
She's the not sensitive one. If
Like,
I smell
it's
vomit,
fine.
I'm gonna vomit. And here I am laughing in the car. I'm not smelling the snail shells because it's on me.
I'm
I have
so mad
become
with
the
them.
smell at that point.
Oh, man.
And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, I shouldn't be doing that on live. I'm sorry, people.
You're terrible.
Demonetized.
Takes the whole video. We must take this video down. Julian said, "Careful with the search term when googling short skirt." I made sure to put shrimp. Don't worry. I know.
I said go to USA Freshwater Shrimp Group, not Google.
Carbon, you already have a room for what show? I need to know now because we named way too many since the time you commented, probably.
But it was nice to meet you in Louisiana, though.
Yeah. See, I keep forgetting. Yes, it was so
It was
nice to
Carvin
meet you.
and
I
Benjamin
know.
Peters.
I know. I
Benjamin
was
Peters
like,
already commented also, right?
you had
It was
said
nice to
something
meet you
about
as well.
buying it, but I didn't put your YouTube name to your face, and I was like, oh, and it just felt so stupid.
It
Orange
hit her
said,
as soon as you left, though.
Yeah.
I told her who it was, and it was like, oh.
I found stupid. Like you said, have you ever had a tank mate with bamboo shrimp that was a disaster?
We have not had the bamboo shrimp yet. Ruben, however, Mr. Shrimp Pimpin himself, has discus with his bamboo shrimp and a vampire running around the tank. Here's the thing with bamboo shrimp compared to Neocaridina and other Caridina and dwarf freshwater species. The bamboo are filter feeders, so they need dirty water. More than likely, you should be feeding a powdered food. This is just not needed for Caridina and Neocaridina, and the powdered foods are going to make the tank a little bit dirtier. So you are going to have to, do more frequent water changes and whatnot to keep the bamboo shrimp nice and healthy and thriving.
Julian said, I'll be at the Daytona one for sure. Can't wait to see ya. Make sure you come up to the booth and say hello. We will definitely have a booth there. I'm so excited. I love aquashellas. We might actually not be at the booth, though. We might be at the aquascaping contest.
On Sunday, we'll be at the booth.
Yes.
We'll be at the booth on Sunday, though, for sure. Are you going to come to see Sam Scales talk, Julian? He will be speaking at our Pasco Aquarium Club this second Saturday of the month. Mr. Sam Scales.
Do you know what that is? Chevy fish.
Rostrum. That's the nose.
Ah,
see, I know what it is.
Thank you,
but,
Chevy fish.
I never remember. If you gave me a multiple choice test in high school, I'd probably be able to figure it out. But if there's no multiple choice, I'm writing in ice cream flavors for fun.
What if short skirt shrimp have a long jacket? Might cover it up.
It's still cool.
151 days to the Keystone Clash.
Not
and welcome in, Kenny. And yeah, there's Dr. Anthony repeating it as well. We're far behind. Okay, Cora says on mobile next to the click join, and then the 3 dots, there will be a gift setting button to turn on for each channel. So if you didn't get those turned on yet,
but
get
again,
those on.
Apple, Android, Mac, PC,
they're all different.
It could be slightly different. So
my Neo and Oscar community tank is thriving. I would love to see a video of that. Is it the Oscars that are thriving from the Neos? Or are they actually breeding? I'm very curious. I'm actually like, that would be so cool if we could. I just feel like the Oscars are just having the time of their life.
If there's enough places in a little rock pile or something like that, the shrimp can definitely breed with the Oscars. But I mean, I just feel like the Oscars are going to redecorate and find a lot of hidden shrimp underneath a rock. Read it out loud, even if it's bad.
No, not with like the last comment from last week. Shelby, you should incubate the chameleon eggs and get them to imprint on you when they hatch.
Don't know what you mean by imprint, but
yeah, I don't know if like you mean like tattoo or
make them walk through ink and then climb all over you, so you have little tiny chameleon handprints.
Aquashella, Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, I don't think that one would ever be a thing. I'm assuming because the only Anchorage I know is Alaska, so I'm assuming that's Alaska. I think it would be cool to go visit, but okay. You scared me for a second there, Ruben. I really did read this. Like, I'm going on vacation again. Psych, I'll be there. Okay, you better be. Oh man.
Joke's on you. Your mom's making plans right now. You don't know about.
Should we message her? I'm just gonna message her. Be like, oh, these are the times for the Aquashella. Oh. Julian said, I'm considering going to Keystone Clash. What's the sales pitch? Everyone on Fish Fam seems to go there. So if you watch them, they're most likely at Keystone Clash. That is the biggest thing. I would say it's like the most. A lot of good breeders. It's mainly like, it's not really big companies that go to it. It seemed like there was more actual like club members, people that homebred their shrimp and fish. You don't think so?
No, you got to sell them on it. So
That's what I'm saying.
it's right in the heart of Amish country. That's all you need to know.
Oh my throat.
If you go to the Walmart, the Amish are just there having a great time. What more can you ask for?
I guess I probably saw better than me. I was trying to do good.
And then you drive there from Florida and you see a 25-mile-an-hour speed sign after you've been doing 70 through the cornfields, and you're like, that's got to be like fake. And then all of a sudden, boom, hard right turn as you're carving through the mountain. It was great. And then right through Amish country. So, yeah.
See, Julian said he's already been to Amish country in Pennsylvania, which is also great.
So you know.
I can't believe how many places we've visited where we end up in Amish country and we're just standing there, and it's you don't see it where we are in Florida.
I shave the mustache and I just fit in, and then they all just give me the nod, like I'm in that one of those little free periods at the time where I'm deciding on whether I want to be Amish or if I want to be part of the free world.
See, we could, I mean, honestly, so easily dress up because, like, I don't dye my hair. Like, it's all natural. Like, you grow your beard out. We would look like just straight Amish.
If we had a cart and buggy pull up to unload all this stuff. Like, we should be able to find an Amish Airbnb.
Oh, God, you're getting carried away.
A horse and buggy combination.
I don't trust us with that, honestly.
It might be worth it.
You would want to go as fast as you can. Oh, man.
Find some homemade ice cream.
Passing With says, I'm a transplant to Jacksonville, but a Miami native. That's crazy. I was born in Miami, raised in the Keys. So
Jacksonville is rated 10th worst city to live in Florida on one of the videos I watched today. Pasco was 6th.
I'm surprised Pasco's not at the top with we have more. That's the thing. Amish aren't existent here. There's too many nudist colonies. It would just give them a heart attack.
No, we have Amish here.
Where?
You looked this up yourself. You're the one that told me we had Amish people here.
No, I told you about the nudist colonies. I know that. We have like the most, especially in Pasco's, like the number one.
Well, we have Amish in Florida.
Pasco should be number one, honestly. Mel said, dipping my toes into shrimp with my first 2 Amanos and just got my first baby golden wonder killie. Yay! Kitty fish! Yay!
So the Amanos are not welcome here, so you need to get some different kind of shrimp. No, just kidding. They're just not really considered a dwarf freshwater shrimp. They're a 2-stage shrimp, so your chances of breeding them are very slim, few and far between, unless you move them to brackish water to salt water and feed them the phytoplankton and stuff like that live in the ocean. And even then, you're like still 6 out of 1,000, going to be able to get any babies. So,
Chiller Method said, is there any demand for blue pearl neos? My Snowballs threw some, and I'm considering giving them a tank.
All right, so your Snowballs probably didn't throw blue pearls. It shouldn't have. They might be diet or something like that.
That's something I looked up the other day. So apparently Snowballs and blue pearl are the same thing, and they're a different neo.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But blue pearl or blue jelly or blue velvet, they're all like the exact same shrimp, just renamed. You know what I mean? So what was the question? You just took it away.
I'm so sorry.
Is
it considering giving them a tank?
You could, but there's a chance that they could lose all their color. If you had a morph and you just happened to get the blue pearls out of it, then run with it. That might be why people think that they're the same. We've been breeding our Snowballs now for like 3 or 4 years and never gotten anything else but a Snowball. So
Duke Dog. What's the loneliest bayou in the world? By yourself. Oh, it's too good. That was good. All right. Sorry. The fish fam giveaway is tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, the fish fam.
So tomorrow,
Does
the
anyone? I
fish
think Crip might
fam,
have that.
If Crypt
link.
Keeper could post the time, I think it's at 5 p.m. Eastern or Pacific time. I don't know. However, they will be giving away. Is it $100 or a $50 gift card?
I think it's $100.
I think it's a $100 gift card. Yeah. It was
So,
$50 for Bucks County, $100 for the Fish Fam link, and then Crypt Keeper will be showing you how to spend your money. He will actually show you how you absolutely have to spend your money. No, I don't know if that's the rules or what the deal is
go and
exactly
shop it
with
on
it,
the website.
but have no fear, Crypt Keeper can do no wrong, so he will pick out the goods for you.
Welcome, Moonja. Haven't seen you in a while. Says, hey, Grant and Shelby, what do you look for when you cull purple metallic tigers?
All right, so the purple metallic tigers, if I was going to breed for purple in general, I would select a breed for the purple and not worry too much about the striping, the tiger patterns, and whatnot. Just because the purple is going to be the recessive trait, the harder trait to get. So I wouldn't cull right away. I would wait until they gain their full 3 centimeter growth. And even then, a year into being 3 centimeters, the shrimp can turn purple. So when I would cull the adults that aren't purple.
And then we got, Carbon's going to Aquashella. So
Nice.
we'll be excited to see you there. And then Mel said, I need to go to fishy events. Still have never been. Sigh. So keep a lookout on the Fish Fam Link website. They actually do have all the events on there. So hopefully something will be nearby you and you can go to something.
And chances are there might be something closer than Aquashella or Keystone Clash or one of these bigger events. You could have just a normal fish club that could do a fish swap or something like that. In Indiana and Chicago, they have like a swap every single month. I'm so jealous. Like it's really cool how many vendors and tables get together to do that every month.
Dr. Anthony says Aquashella Vegas. There has been talk about it, but there's talk about California and different states.
No Cali.
So it really depends on where they get a good deal. I don't think I would ever prefer Vegas. It's not that great.
If you had asked 2 years ago,
Overpriced. Me.
if you had asked 2 years ago, I would have said, yeah, Aquashella Dallas is quick to come pre-COVID. However, I think Florida took the spot, and I don't know if they have the want or need to do 3 or 4 shows a year anymore. So I don't think Vegas is really going to happen anymore.
Yeah. Julian said it might make it to Sam's Scales talk. Never know for sure till right before. So hopefully you get to. I think Sam will have a good talk. Zoltan said, do you have to cull Caridinas if you don't want a curtain line?
If you don't want a certain line or curtain line, I don't know.
Oh, it probably is a certain line.
You don't have to cull anything if you don't want to. Culling is simply set by your standards and your standards alone. So if you like every single shrimp in the tank, you don't have to cull anything. I would cull for the balloon head or something like that. And then another thing I didn't mention is disease. If you bought imports and you've got some of the ELO, which is the green fungus underneath the shrimp where it looks like you're holding eggs, but it's really green fungus or slime looking things. There's the Scutalilia or whatever it is, the little horns and worms that grow on the nose and head of the shrimp. Most of the time, it's just easier to cull that shrimp, remove it, and then still dose the tank with Paragard, so that way you don't have any issues moving forward, and it is the least risky move when you think about the whole colony. Of course, the one that was infected is gone, but it's probably the best thing for the rest of the colony.
Julian said, not going to lie, Grant, Shelby was doing a better sales pitch. My job is sales, so it's a little easier for me.
It is. It's a nice hotel expo all in one venue, and they do have a good assortment of freshwater. There wasn't a lot of salt, which a lot of the bigger shows is mostly salt, and it can get salty. The people are salty. No, I'm just kidding. But the Keystone Clash, there's only one saltwater vendor, I think, last year. They did all right for being the one saltwater vendor, but it's got so many different things, from fish show, where there's a fish basically competition for every single category of fish you can think of, and then a banquet where they just like to give me all the winning raffle tickets. So
Nick said Sarasota has a large Amish community.
yeah, see, I know the Amish are here.
I think so.
You did. You looked it up,
in
and you're like,
Sarasota. I think so.
And
Okay.
they're also in like St. Augustine or in the Panhandle or something
Yeah.
like that. And you're the one that told me this.
I know. I probably did Google it after talking about it. I forget.
She went
To-
on this
to the Amish
Amish
breed.
binge of going to all these Amish farms in Schaumburg.
I
And then
loved
got
it.
home,
It was
it
so
was like,
beautiful.
We're gonna be Amish now. I'm
No,
like, no.
I did not.
She did. She's like, we're Amish. It's official.
I just said it was very lovely, and I love that they had their own little farm. But I couldn't give up like my.
When I
tanks
told her
and
that you would have to
electricity.
get rid of the AC in the house, she was like, no.
I
No.
actually sit outside most of the time, anyways. But at
Mhm.
nighttime, I would
AC
die.
in the house, horse-drawn buggy, no AC. You in those clothes that they wear, I don't know how they do it. Thinking about it now, I'd have a stroke.
Oh man.
That's why the buggies are all like blacked out. They're not wearing their full clothes in there.
Sibley said, you just shipped my Neos. I have a 10-gallon tank I set up over a month ago for them, but I put fish in there. Fish
will
will
be moved.
moved, but anything I need to do to the tank, ? Been doing weekly water change.
The only thing that I think you would have to worry about is if you ever dose meds in the tank or the fish. We had mentioned this up before in the beginning of the stream. You could dose some carbon, or our favorite would be the Aquachar into the tank and take care of those meds and make them inert for you.
Oh, Dr. Anthony, next time you come down, I guess we could take you. We're dropping you off at the entrance, but we can take you. You know. J-Dub said, I'm right outside of Jacksonville. I agree with it being on the list. I don't know if you've ever watched The Good Place. If you're from Jacksonville, you should watch it. It's pretty funny.
Jason is a great representation of everyone I've ever known from Jacksonville, except for Brian.
Brian's different.
But Brian has a lot of Jason tendencies. You gotta admit.
Christy says, any SoCal events ever? Yes, there is
The Sacramento event is happening on like the 3rd and 4th of June, I believe. The first weekend of June. So that's the only one I know of. I do know there's like a couple of good fish shows or fish clubs in California as well. So.
Passing Wind says, I have a creek in the backyard, so since it's a wetland, it'll never be built up, so I can get a bit of peacefulness. There was this house we were looking at for a while that's built up onto the river, and it's got its own little stream, and it's right on the like most beautiful part of the river here, but not enough property for us.
Not enough property, and they
flooding.
They want too many doll hairs, and it's just not good enough for our.
Layla doesn't have enough dolls for all that, you know.
And she gets mad every time I take some doll hairs off her doll.
Scuba said, would you rather eat a goat or a matter baby? What's a matter baby?
It don't matter.
Abstract said, can you
I'd
give
rather
me
eat the goat.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what the
Stop
other thing
with the
is.
goats.
And
Can you
Shelby
give-
won't eat at this one bodega because they serve goat. So I always want to try it.
Can you give
I've always
me a
wanted to
few?
sneak it into
Can
her
you
plate.
let me talk?
Matt.
Can you give me a few ideas on how to keep Aurora blue tigers? Keep them solo or put them in with Neos?
I would keep them solo because if you keep them with Neocaridina, chances are the Neos are going to outbreed the Aurora blue tigers, and they're going to dominate. They're going to eat the food, stress out the Aurora blues, and make them feel like they don't really matter in the world. So it could go the other way, and the Aurora outbreed the Neos, but it's like that's not a good chance at all. So I would keep them by themselves. I would keep them in Caridina parameters. They do a little bit better for us and have a little less issues. Also, make sure their temperature doesn't get above 75. They are super prone to bacterial infections. Back to you, Sean.
And Mel said, don't need the Amanos to breed. They're in my baby beta. He's spicy. So I didn't want to get a small shrimp to go with him. Has completely ignoring the Amanos, so maybe Neos are next. Might not even be able to see the Amanos sometimes.
No, Amanos are definitely the way to go if you're going to be keeping some spicy fish as well. I was just thinking about today about how I created a monster in Shelby because when I first met her, pepper was spicy. And today we leave KFC and she's just like eating one of the chicken littles and she's like, I just wish that this spicy was just drizzled all over the famous bowl. It'd just make it so much better. And in my mind, I'm thinking I created a monster. And then she looks over at me and she's like, you created a monster, didn't you? I'm like, get out of my head, woman.
I don't eat any. Like I even just buy sriracha from the store. I got green sriracha now that I just kind of put on my spicy food that I get. And I didn't even like pepper when I first met him. So now to be putting spicy stuff on everything I eat is a little ridiculous.
She used to walk into my house when my mom cooked and her eyes would water and she'd be like turning red and starting to swell up. And she's like, I can't do this.
It was bad. It was bad. Fish Family posted, Crypt Keeper will be taking us on a shopping spree at TGOE. At the end of the shopping, we will be giving away what's in his cart, $100 value. So make sure you're there for that. Crip says, have you guys seen Sam Scales shrimp art? I want some. I haven't seen the shrimp art in person. That was his first little drawing, but I've got like everything else.
Did you see Sam Scales shrimp art on the t-shirts for the Aquashella shrimp contest? I showed it already on the thing last week. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see he quit out on our live stream and he didn't see it. So
he must have cut out early.
And then you didn't do the rewatch right. You must have skipped over it because Sam Scales drew the artwork for the American Shrimp Contest t-shirt for Dallas. So yeah, I've seen it. I saw it. I saw the artwork before because it was one of the proofs for the t-shirt. So
Alberto said, hi, should tangerine tigers be culled and for what traits?
All right. We're repeating information at this point, Alberto, I'm sorry. We talked about the tangerine tigers a little bit. Depends on the line. Our line is very true on breeding super, super solid, dark, orange tangerine tigers. But say you like yellow. You can cull the dark orange ones to focus on the yellow. You can cull the ones that don't have this thick as stripes or dots and stuff like that. So you could cull tangerine tigers, but I haven't culled any of our tangerine tigers in like 3 or 4 years. So they're happy. They're where I like them to be until a trend changes or anything like that. But if you do rewatch like the beginning of the stream, I dive into tangerine tigers and how to cull them or if you should cull them. And even a t-shirt design you can steal before I get it done.
Well, yeah, I like to go for the oranges. You can get deeper, darker orange. So we do have some tanks that are a lot more orange than other ones, but I mean, realistically, can't get rid of the orange. Gina's going to be the main salty, you know what, at the Clash. So excited. Can't wait to see you. All right. I know. And Scuba Steve's into salty tanks. I don't know if you've seen that yet or not, but he dove into the salt water.
Yeah, I think Scuba Steve likes to be reckless with his money.
Carbon says, it took me a second. At Aquashella, is there normally a lot of people in the Aquascape competition? So it's a big tank competition, and they have 9 entries. 12. So it's 12 entries, and you have to qualify in order to be in the Aquascape competition. And then they have teams. So like usually it's me and Grant, and then sometimes Brian if he can make it. We have to figure that out, by the way. But
Brian does not go to Dallas, but yes, that's
I know,
why
but they said that we couldn't add anyone, so I'm just making sure that we like put that he's there.
That
It's
was
just-
that was something that they tried to do. It didn't. That wasn't a rule that went through.
Okay.
Not worried about it.
Yeah, there's it's quite a few people. Most people do a team of at least 3 to 4 people. It
Sean
makes it
actually
easier.
encouraged the John Oliver or the Oliver Knott ringer idea. He's like, yeah, bring them.
Yeah, I'll pay for your plane ticket. Okay. Oh no, the electricity keeps going off. You having a bad storm or something? It's been crazy here. It's been flooding everywhere.
Yeah, we got a full retention pond down at the end of the street, and it was empty yesterday. I could have hit golf balls in it and picked them up without wet socks.
Welcome in Aqua Gardens in. Reading. Dr. Anthony said he will have goat with you the next time he's here.
Oh, very nice.
Ugh.
About that.
I love goats too much. They're too cute. I can't read fast enough. Creamy sriracha sauce is the bomb. It is really good. See, I said the same thing, and now I'm just it's ridiculous, honestly. It's like a crave. Like I have been deprived of it my whole life, so now it's just like overwhelming. Like everything needs to be spicy.
See, it's not spicy to me. I just don't like the taste of Tabasco because if I said a bad word as a kid, I got a mouthful of Tabasco. So
see, I don't like jalapenos. I don't like my lips swell really bad when I eat jalapenos. So no, thank you. I will, however, suffer and eat some of the Bria ramen that one of our taco trucks make. I am craving that like crazy, but I've done it a couple of times and Grant laughs at me because I have to go back to work and I'm literally like rubbing ice on my lips because I'm in so much pain, but it's so good.
I mean, it doesn't affect me the way it affects her. Like jalapenos, nothing for me, but the Thai chilies, those get me where it doesn't affect her really that bad at all.
It's got such good flavor, honestly. That's the thing. That's why I might try Steve-O's hot sauce then.
It's for your butthole, though.
Oh, no. Can you stop? Oh, we did make it to 2 hours at least. No one's watching.
For your butthole,
you know, stop.
I'm sorry.
Abstract ask, Grant, would you ever try spicy ice cream? And you know it's a voice recognition thing. It's like an AI that like picks that up now.
I would do spicy ice cream, but like not on purpose. Like why would I want to do that?
Ew.
I have something that I... If you walked up to me at the show and you're like, here is some spicy ice cream.
Don't tell him. Just
but if I
give it to him.
If I just go to a place and they've got the flavors that I like, I'm getting those before I get anything spicy.
Welcome in, Jay Oliver. But we have a video of Layla trying pickle ice cream. Where she was like,
I thought we had a spicy one too. I think there was a spicy one too.
We had a pickle one, and there was something else that was
pickle,
gross.
One was spicy. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
Spicy.
We'll see. Ugh, sounds awful. Three Stooges, Mo, Larry, and Shrimp. Ruben says Shelby sounds like a true Texan. Oh man, it's funny because my mom grew up in Indiana, and she's got this Southern accent, and so like sometimes it comes out, but it's either like a Louisiana accent or a Texas accent. It's weird when it comes out though. and I can't watch. I used to watch this country singing show. I don't know what it was called, but I watched that too much. And I would go to work, and when people would come in and be like, "Hey y'all, what's doing?" and like everyone at work was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I've been watching way too much country things. I need to stop." And it stopped after that. It says, "Where can I buy Oprah?" Ooh.
Oprah Ula.
I think it auto corrected. Oh, should we put them on our website? Oprah Ula.
You get a macroalgae, and you
There's-
get a macroalgae.
There's so much shrimp that it would be funny if they were called Oprah Ulas because they breed like crazy and you get so many shrimp. So you're just like, you got a shrimp. I'll give you a shrimp. But Brandon said, did you get the Amazon shrimp from Dr. Anthony?
You didn't answer the
yes, we did.
We have Oprah Ula shrimp on our website, tgoeshrimp.com.
Yes,
We don't
sorry.
have the Oprah Winfrey strain, but we have a good TGOE strain that
threw
I
me
think you
off.
would be happy with because it can produce yellows.
Yeah,
And like yellow, what more could you ask for?
they have so much. But Brandon said, did you get? We did get the Amazon shrimp from Dr. Anthony, and they are still doing pretty good.
I was supposed to get more, but you know, where are they, Doc? I don't see them.
Cripps says, come visit me. I'll accidentally make you a batch of chocolate habanero ice cream and you'll love it. I can't believe you can make that. That's so cool. I forget that you could cook and stuff. All right. Have a good night, sunset.
Sound good. It sounds like the night before you ate all of it.
No, he said because I said to just, give it to him without saying it.
I'm just saying. It just doesn't
Since you'll
sound
say you'll
the
only have
best.
spicy ice cream if it's an accident.
No, I meant... I didn't
I mean,
mean
he's
to
just
say
giving you your
accident.
request.
I mean, if it's the only thing I have, I guess, but I'm not going to purposely buy it.
Okay.
All right,
We're all
done?
caught up? Yes.
All caught up.
It's time to
all
go to
right.
bed.
We will see you
We're
guys
wound
next
up
week
tonight.
where we will talk all about the American Shrimp Contest and then maybe something else. Who knows? So
Who knows?
tune in
Thank
to
you,
find out.
everybody. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you again, Jeff Kane, for donating all those lovely memberships. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a lovely night. Thank you.
Bye.